Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Refried Friday. It has been a long time. I don't think we've ever done a show like this in the new office. That's how long it's been around. And the new office is barely even new. We've been here for almost a year. Glad to see everyone over from YouTube. And I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions because we've had a lot of new subscribers since we've done a recent Refried Friday. So let me explain what's going down. So, with Refried Friday, I would like to pull comments from YouTube videos, particularly comments that are either intentionally hateful, disagreement, or people who don't like me or try to call me out. And now you get to watch me react to them live on YouTube. And the reason I'm doing this on YouTube is because I want there to be a routine amount of live content that you guys can come and watch on the YouTube platform. Yes, we primarily stream over on Twitch. To the people who watch my Twitch streams, thank you. You know what we're talking about. But to the people who don't know that we do live content, this is probably a great way to promote our Twitch content. So once again, in the chat, my Twitch link is there. So make sure that if you like live streamed content, that you can see more of it over on Twitch. So make sure you're following there. But to the people who don't want to download Twitch, they don't want to make an account, that's too much work, we'll still have live content specifically for people who just need to use the YouTube app, okay? They don't want to use Twitch, and it'll be something a tad more consistent than T-, which I'm still going to do. T- live streams are great because we get to, like, talk about a phone before it gets released, or a video before it gets released, particularly. We talk about some of the things that I felt didn't quite make it into the video, and we can hype up a video, but T- is a rare thing. This doesn't happen often. Whereas Refried Friday, this is something that you can rely on at a scheduled basis, so you can be like, every Friday, I can expect Drew to go live and react to some comments as they're happening. So, I'm definitely very excited for that. We've already got some super chats. I won't be able to read everyone in the chat's message. I can read super chats, though, and also I really encourage people to become a YouTube member. That way it's much easier to read your comment out of the chat. So we got Rockford Tech saying he's here. Adam Anderson says it's been a minute. Current Tech Fanboy says, will there be an affordable mass market flying car? Probably not. Rockford Tech saying, boo, go away, haters. But without further ado, thank you all for joining. Let's begin with our first comment from Nelson, who says, this guy just hate the Pixel for no reason. And this comment in particular came from my video about DxOMark not publishing the Pixel 3 review, which guess what? They responded. DxOMark replied to my tweet on Twitter specifically saying they are working on the Pixel 3 DxOMark score. But the funniest thing about Nelson's comment to me is the fact that there's apparently no reason for my hate. You know, I didn't fill a 30-minute video full of reasons, stuffed full of reasons, and real use cases with video evidence and photographic evidence of all of the problems I had. But no, this is all just hate for no reason, right? This is all from nothing. This is all just from the fact that I hate Google, you know, the company that pays me, the company that's running YouTube and sent me a free phone to use in the mail. This I did not pay for. If anything, I should be biased towards Google because they give me free stuff. Apple doesn't give me free stuff. Apple pays me no money. I get no discounts on Apple products. But yeah, hate for no reason. Thanks, Nelson. Appreciate you. 8 hours ago. Okay. Alex Gallagher said, talk about the ROG phone. For those of you who didn't know, also thank you for the super chat, Rockford Tech. Appreciate it. I know that in yesterday's video, I asked a lot of you guys, okay? I asked for you to, instead of just saying you're not interested in a topic and also not click on videos that don't interest you, or if you don't like me showing up in your recommended, just don't toggle the autoplay button. That way you don't start me playing. So also, another thing I got to add on top of that is if you're going to suggest something, look up to see if I've talked about it first, because I have talked about the ROG phone, and I've talked about how I think it's really impressive, and I actually really enjoy the ROG phone. There are plenty of Android phones that I've given essentially nothing but praise to, and I've been unnecessarily fair to a ton of Android phones. Incredibly fair, not mean, not nitpicky. Things like the Razer Phone 2, which has had tons of problems, but I excuse them because I appreciate Razer doing something different, and I like what Razer's doing. The ROG phone is also one of them. Probably has some problems that I could critique it too if it was made by Google, but I look at Asus differently than Google and say, you know what? I enjoy the ROG Phone, even though I haven't used it yet. I just enjoy its existence. I enjoy that they did something unique and different, and they're not trying to be some type of iPhone clone. So, Alex Gallagher, if you want me to talk about the ROG Phone, go look it up. Go find it first before start suggesting people. And this applies to a lot of you guys who asked me to talk about things that I've already mentioned. Okay, DEM says, hey, Drew, what sort of naughty things do YouTubers put in their thumbnails? Ooh, this is probably in relation to yesterday's video. Thank you, Rockford Tech, for the super chat. Yeah, naughty things like arrows, red circles, clickbait, people doing this repetitively, just naughty things. 7 deadly sins of YouTuber thumbnails. Not okay, not good. Okay. Adrian Sellin, wow, this one got 91 likes. What I got in this video is that your full name is Andrew Erickson. Surprise. You know my name now. Yes, Talos of Tech is not my official name. That's just the name of my brand. By the way, this merch should be integrated into the YouTube app if you're watching in the US. So please feel free to check it out. It's limited time only. Only available till Christmas. Okay, thank you, Adrian. Congratulations. You know my name now. We can be much more personal from viewer to creator. Okay, Glenn Wong, in my response to the Apple Watch Series 5 idea, says, great idea, but curved glass will break more easily. Look at an Apple Watch. Glenn, work with me. Look at an Apple Watch. Do you notice something? I didn't say I want the glass to curve. I said I want the display to curve. Also, do you drop watches often? Or do you wear them? You put the watch on your wrist and then it's there. You don't... It breaks more easily. Okay, sapphire breaks more easily, but it's more durable. That's why Apple uses sapphire in their Apple Watch stainless steel models. It's more expensive, but it's more durable because you don't have to worry about scuffing. However, the reason you do not see sapphire on smartphones all the time is because when you drop them, they are much more prone to shatter. So please, Glenn, understand that there has never been an Apple Watch with flat glass across the top. Okay? So I'm not suggesting they curve the glass even more. In fact, look at iPhones. Look at Pixels. They all have curved glass. I'm just suggesting curve the display itself all the way around. Okay? Okay? That's all I'm suggesting. Thank you, Noobish Expert, for the super chat. Appreciate it. He's waving. Okay. All right, moving on from Glenn. The One got 13 likes. Says, you took 10 minutes to talk about this. Why? For those wondering, he's commenting specifically on my video about the DxOMark scores on the Pixel 3. Well, The One, because apparently plenty of people are willing to watch it. That's the reason I make anything, is because I want there to be an audience of people to watch it. Clearly, you clicked on it. You were somewhat interested in it enough, and we all know that he can't comment on it without clicking on it, which means it was interesting enough for you to click on it. You may have wondered to yourself, why is he talking about this for 10 minutes? But frankly, just watch the video and you'll understand. If you don't want to hear me talk about it for 10 minutes, don't watch it. These videos are optional, people. Talos of Tech is optional. Okay. We got a super chat from Victor who says, could you please review the Pixel Slate you did with the Pixel Book? The video was great. And I really need another one because I fell in love with the Slate and I need you to review it. Seriously. You fell in love with the laggiest tablet of the year, Victor. Okay. I'll think about it. I'm very in love with the iPad right now, and I enjoy using it on a daily basis. And I know that as soon as I start unboxing and start messing around with the Pixel Slate, everyone's going to tell me to do the 30-day challenge. Use the Pixel Slate for 30 days. Don't use an iPad. And I'm done with the challenges for a while, okay? I put my foot down, at least for the rest of the year. I'm not doing any more challenges. I'm happy in my ecosystem. Exactly what I'm using my iPad for right now in OBS. I'm not doing a Pixel Slate challenge, but I'll think about reviewing the product itself. It does not look good to me. Does not look interesting at all. Anyway, that's the comment from The One. Moving on. Oh boy, we got a paragraph, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big one. I might even have to zoom in a tad here. that helps. Not really. It just cuts off. Okay. Doug Santos, who has, I might add, a very terrifying profile picture. Look at this, guys. Do you see that? That's nightmare fuel. That is just nightmare fuel. Like, I'm scared to read this now. Okay? So just knowing that, let's move on. Doug Santos got 7 likes on this comment. Okay, so he's got a little bit of weight to it. Every time this dude's videos show up in my recommendations, he's talking crap about the Pixel. ... I don't understand people who hate something so much and spend all their time taking about how much they hate it. Okay, maybe he meant talking. All his videos sound so salty and negative. If you think the phone sucks so bad, why not spend your time on something you actually enjoy instead of making so many videos talking about how you think this is the worst phone in the world? One bad review is okay, but this just makes him look like such a desperate hater. We get it, dude. You're not a fan of the phone. Get a new idea. Talk about something else. Which, once again, has nothing to suggest. Doesn't know what he wants me to talk about. He's just annoyed that I'm in his recommended, but then he keeps clicking on me, which is not helping the situation. When you click on me, you're telling YouTube you want more of me. If I show up in your recommendations, don't click on me. It doesn't help. Okay, regardless. To the idea of you don't understand people who talk about things they hate, okay? I am a YouTube reviewer. Just as much as I recommend products for people to buy, and granted, most of my videos are about Apple products. Most of them are about why I think people should buy iPhones, why I think people should buy Apple Watches, iPads, why I think they're the best. The majority of my content, you can scroll back on a few of my last couple of weeks of content, you'll see not a terrible amount of them are about the Pixel. Though, maybe because you keep clicking on that type of video, YouTube keeps thinking, Talos of Tech Pixel, Talos of Tech Pixel. And then they show them to you because they think that's what you want. Because you keep clicking on it. And then, boom, they're going to keep showing it. It's going to keep showing up in your recommendations. Also, most YouTubers, in fact, most big tech YouTubers, got big by talking about how they didn't like something. Typically, it's an iPhone. If you look up Unbox Therapy's biggest video, it's about why he doesn't like the iPhone or the iPhone Bendgate problem. A problem with the iPhone. Where Doug Santos would probably see that video and go, why do you got to talk so much? Just don't buy the phone. Just talk about what you like. Why are you talking about products that you don't like? Just make a negative review and then move on. But no, heaven forbid, a YouTuber says something they don't like about a product. Just as much as we recommend products, we just as much tell people what products to avoid. That does not mean that I hate all of Android. That means that there's a lot of things Android does well, and if you watch my videos, you know that. You know how much I compliment Android phones, but one in specific, this video's specifically referring to my Pixel 3 rant. Now, once again, I spend most of my channel and most of my time recommending products to people, where every once in a while, I try to bring up a flaw with the Google Pixel, and now that's apparently all my content, and I'm salty about it. Yes, I'm salty. I don't care. I don't mind at all that I'm salty. You can call me salty. That doesn't bother me. All I'm trying to say is most channels talk about things they don't like, and that's usually what most people watch, which is our job, to make content that most people are interested in. So keep that in mind moving forward. Just as much as I hate the Pixel, there is 10 other YouTubers that talk about how terrible the iPhone is 10 times more than I do. Seriously. Google removes features from their phone, yet or the phone overheats when using the own charger, the $80 charger that the company makes. It loses battery if the screen is on while charging. That's not a serious charge issue, right? Just the fact that you have to tap the display to get an iPhone to start charging, and that bug was acknowledged when Lou made his video about the serious iPhone charge problem, and they fixed it within 7 days. That's a serious problem. This, though? Nah, this is fine. Who cares? Whatever. Who am I? Who are we to say? Okay. All right. Are we done with Doug Santos? Oh, my God. Look at that. Okay. That's a little terrifying. Okay, moving on. Branford got 4 likes with this. How many times do I have to tell you this? And I will confirm, I have never seen this man comment on other videos, and I have never seen him reply to me on Twitter. But once again, he's commenting, how many times do I have to tell you this? I don't know. Maybe one. Maybe it's just legitimately asking. Maybe it's not a critique. Maybe he's not saying this repeatedly. He's just like, do I have to say this multiple times? Maybe he does. I don't know. The reason the Pixel 3 shows auto instead of 60 FPS is because in a poorly lit environment, you wouldn't get 60 FPS anyway. Are you sure about that? Because the exposure time would be longer than 1/60th of a second. You have 2 options when it comes to 60 FPS video in poor lighting conditions. Increase exposure time or don't and get a bunch of noise. Google chooses the former because you'd probably want a decent 30 FPS video over a grainy 60 FPS video. They are more accurate by saying auto than any other phone saying 60 FPS. So I was a little bit curious by Branford's comment, so I did a little bit of research myself and made sure that all the lights in the tech room were turned on. Got it? This was not a dimly lit situation. And that studio light that's lighting me right now, that was on too. So guess what I did? At all times, by the way, whenever I used the Pixel during the 30-day challenge, the frame rate was set to auto because I prefer 60 frames a second. Whenever I can get it, I'll take it. Sadly, this live stream is not 60 FPS, but it's because it's not possible. If it was possible, I would do it. But I recorded a video at 1080p. Okay, so we understand that for whatever reason, the Pixel 3 cannot record 4K at 60 ever, no matter the lighting conditions, even though cheaper phones with the same CPU can do it for 5 minutes, like the OnePlus. Snapdragon 845, it can do 4K at 60, no problem. This one can't. We don't know why. It just doesn't. We don't, again, they didn't do it. But also, the fact that you can't change to 60 FPS during any lighting condition. Whether you're outside, inside, lights on, lights off, no matter what, you can't change it to 60, which is why they changed it to auto, because they want to decide when it is. I recorded a video with the lights on, and I can confirm to you this video is 30 frames a second. I spend most of my editing career looking at 60 FPS content, and I know it when I see it, and I immediately compared it to what my iPhone can do. By the way, at 4K at 60, so 4 times the resolution of what this can handle. By the way, you can do this on an iPhone XR, a device $50 cheaper than this phone. But no, he's got to make this excuse for Google Auto because it would actually just look bad anyway, when in reality, they do not change the frame rate even when a scene is properly lit. I imagine Branford probably does not even own a Pixel himself and doesn't understand that to the people out there who want 60 FPS, the Pixel does not automatically toggle it on when the scene is lit correctly. They do it when they feel like it, when they get around to it. Evan says, hey, Drew, can you read what I'm about to send you? Okay, Evan donated. He says, Drew's an amazing tech YouTuber that has good content. All the haters don't have any reason to be mad. I look forward to more content. Hope life is doing great. Thank you, Evan. Life is doing great, but today's not about nice comments. Today's about Refried Friday. These comments right here. So I got a bunch of hand-picked, and hopefully you guys can enjoy my responses. Okay. Jennifer said, the Galaxy S10 will have headphone jack. Chucky doll. That's a pretty good roast, because I do look exactly like the Chucky doll. However, to respond to Jennifer, whose profile picture appears to be a bottle in jail, yeah, I don't have much to roast that, other than I bet that bottle would pay more attention to the things I said in the video about the Galaxy S10 than Jennifer actually would. Bottle probably has a higher attention span. Because in that video, multiple times, you can rewatch it, where I talk about the Galaxy S10 and the fact that, yes, I know, it has a headphone jack. I'm not saying that the Galaxy S10 won't have a headphone jack, and I even said the Galaxy Note 10 will probably have a headphone jack. But they don't see that. They just see title, thumbnail, instantly respond, but the S10 will have a headphone jack. Do you have these things? Maybe you don't. I mean, there's clearly none in the picture. That's a bottle. Bottle doesn't have ears. So if that's possible, maybe she couldn't hear me. But regardless, Jennifer, thanks for letting me know. And yes, I said it multiple times in the video. S10 will have a headphone jack. That has been confirmed. It's not something you discovered. It's not a roast to the video, because I addressed it multiple times and said this is the first time the Galaxy phone, the Galaxy product line, has ditched the headphone jack. Not the flip phones. People out there kept saying, but they released flip phones that don't have headphone jack. That's a flip phone. We're talking about Galaxy products. This has an Infinity O display. This has something that the rest of the Galaxy lineup doesn't even have yet. This has new and exciting technology that we're seeing in this phone that is eventually going to be brought to the US, and that includes the removal of the headphone jack. Yes, they're going to do it. No, it's not on the S10. But why am I even trying? Because they're not listening anyway. Greg's Gadgets super chatted, says most tech reviewers crown the Pixel 3 the best camera purely on still photography and barely cover the video quality and capabilities. GJ Drew, thanks for the donation, and that's a really good point. I think that most people would just say it's the best camera without ever talking about video performance, which to me is very important. You can't tell me something's the best camera when it's removing features that an iPhone 6s has. The iPhone 6s can record at 60 FPS in any lighting conditions. It may not be great, but at least you have that option, particularly when your phone doesn't even know when to switch to 60 frames a second. Even if the scene is lit correctly, it just doesn't want to do it. I'm convinced that the hardware is so unoptimized on this thing that they just didn't want to give it 60 FPS because they weren't sure if it could handle it. 1080 at 60, that's difficult. That's hard. Moving on to the next comment. Off-Colored said, nope. Apple uses their proprietary Lightning port and gets paid when third-party manufacturers make products that use the Lightning port. Samsung does not make many money on USB-C. Well, this is interesting to me. As someone who gets a lot of the roasts and a lot of the feedback off Apple removing the headphone jack, this was not the argument that everyone made. Their argument was not that, oh, Apple's going to license all this money from Lightning and that's how they're going to make a ton of money. How many people out there are using Lightning headphones? Particularly in the chat. Do you see a ton of third parties making Lightning headphones? They do it from time to time, but it is not a top seller. That is not what Apple wanted you to do. We all know Apple wanted you to buy AirPods. Apple did not think Lightning was the future of ports. That's why they removed it on the iPad. Lightning's here to support the other accessories you've purchased for the past couple of years, but we all know Apple's inevitable standard is to be wireless, charging wirelessly and listening to headphones wirelessly. Barely anyone uses Lightning headphones. I use AirPods. I use AirPods. That's what people. I use Bluetooth. Never seen people who use or sell Lightning headphones. And you know what? That's normal because most people don't go out and say, can I buy a pair of headphones that doesn't work on most things? I can't even plug it into a Mac. I can't plug it into the new iPad. In fact, Lightning is so much not the standard. That's why Apple included Lightning earpods with your iPhone. Because they're like, here, if you want headphones in the purchase, there you go. They're wired, but Apple was pushing to move to wireless. They wanted everyone to move to AirPods or Bluetooth of some sort, Beats, not Lightning. That's not what Samsung is trying to do here either. They're not saying everyone move to USB-C headphones. They're saying move to wireless, which when removing the headphone jack, all of your same arguments that Apple didn't do it for courage, they just did it for money so that they could sell dongles and so that they could sell wireless headphones. All of those same arguments you have for Apple, apply them over to Samsung. Same thing, okay? Same thing. If you want to make all those arguments, it doesn't matter that it's in China. But Drew, this phone's for China. That's different. That should mean it's even worse. At least in the US, the average income is higher. More people can afford wireless headphones. More people can afford adapters. In China, where the income is generally lower and you have to make lower priced products, removing the headphone jack is an even meaner thing to do. It's even worse. It's even more discriminatory towards that demographic because They would rather use their old headphones. They don't have spare cash for wireless as much as we do here. It would make more sense to keep the headphone jack in lower income countries and then remove it in higher income countries. This is completely backwards. If anything, bring it back for the lower market. One thing Google might even understand with the Pixel budget options. Okay. That's my response to Off Colored. Studio Production says, dude, clip your nails. They're go. Okay, how many times? Okay, just like that other person said. How many times do I have to say this? My nails are not long. You can see my fingers on that side. Do you see any nails sticking out from this side? No. The flesh extends past the nail. They are uprooted because I have a skin condition called psoriasis. If you ever have poison oak, imagine having that on your head, in your hands, for the rest of your life. Just forever, and it won't go away. That's what psoriasis is. It's not that my nails are not trimmed. My nails are actually shorter than the average human. It's just they are uprooted. You can Google. What is psoriasis?
Your phone has no SIM.
There's no SIM card in it. I forgot. Never mind. Google can't answer that. How did you get OBS on iPad? Super chatted Lucas. You just plug a USB-C cord into your iPad to your Mac, and it will show up in OBS as a video capture device. It's very simple. Just plug a USB-C into the computer. It's that easy. You suck. Dang it, Jesus, he got me. Good one. Also, we got a super chat from Nate the Pretty Great. One of my AirPods is super quiet. I don't have Apple Care. Should I bring it to the Apple Store anyway? If you've purchased the AirPods within the last 12 months, okay? So unless they're 12 months old, you can contact customer service, and they will send you a replacement AirPod for free. They will just put like a $70 hold on your account just in case you don't send back your defective AirPod. But once they receive your defective AirPod, they give you that money back. So it costs you nothing to get an AirPod replaced if one of them is quiet. I've had a similar problem. It's a common issue with AirPods. I really wish there was an easy way they could fix it. I bet it has something to do with lithium degradation over time. But still, AirPods are my favorite headphones in the world. Nothing can touch them, even though they definitely have problems. No joke. Also, I just want to remind everyone here of something. I see a lot of people donating Super Chat, $2, $2 here, $2 there. Also, people donating $5, $5 or $10 here. Instead of Super Chatting every single time you want me to read a message, become a YouTube member. See the little join button if you're on Android, and if you're on desktop, you'll see that join button. And won't see it on iOS, but if you become a YouTube member, it's a charge of $5 a month, just for the whole month. And we're going to be doing Refried Fridays every single Friday. So instead of doing one donation for every comment, just become a YouTube member. That way I'll see your message stand out in the chat, and then that'll save you money. Rather than donating $5 for a single comment, all your comments could point out if you just became a YouTube member. $5 a month. I don't see any members in the chat right now, even though I know we have a certain amount. But, you know, we got 140,000 subscribers and 338 people watching. So they're not all here. We all got lives going around. Anyway, I have psoriasis, okay, in regards to studio productions. Please. Okay. Good video, but those fingers. Joel. Come on, Joel. I've told you guys. Look at my hands. They're all screwed up. Touch ID doesn't work for me. Fingerprint readers, they don't work for me, okay? So if you see me not being that sad about the fingerprint reader being gone, that's why. Okay, Joel, everyone's just going to keep making fun of me. Imagine if you guys had a biological disease and I just constantly kept bringing it up and be like, oh, your disease looks disgusting. You guys are making fun of someone with a condition. Stop it. Okay. I know. Most of you are respectful. Most of you are clean about this. And these are just a couple people in my audience. Most of you guys understand. A lot of people have this condition. It's a fairly common one. And it's not a big issue that I'm going to have to worry about in the comments anymore. Luckily, because I'm doing Refried Friday, we can move on from this. Dude, love the video, but your fingernail... Patrick. Oh, God, Patrick. You're really pushing me. You're really pushing me. You got me so distracted. It is unbelievable. Hand models are expensive, people. Okay? Unless you want me talking about Audible and Blue Apron every second of every day, then I'm not paying for a hand model. Gotcha. I'm going to use my own hands because they're always by my side. Thank you, hands. They're right there. They're right there with me. But if it distracts you that much, I'm sorry. I guess switch to another YouTuber who doesn't have psoriasis. All you YouTubers and your fancy nails. All your fancy nails with no psoriasis. I'm not paying for hand models, okay? Okay. Josh Cook said, Drew, I hate the Pixel 3. Let's make 15 videos about it. Drew, iPhones are better than Oxygen itself. Let's make 3 videos about it. Wait. Is that a... Wait a minute. Is this a hate comment? I can't tell. Is he just pointing... Josh, are you just simply pointing out that... Are you just simply pointing out that I have made 3 videos about how the iPhone is better than Oxygen? Also, I don't think I've ever said that. I have said I hate the Pixel 3. I don't think I've ever said iPhones are better than Oxygen. Also, Oxygen is potentially dangerous. I don't even know if I could make that argument. Oxygen is needed to survive on planet Earth, but also, if you have too much of it, it can become flammable. I don't know. That's tough. This is a tough one. I see why it only got 1 like, though. Are you trying to make the point that I make 15 videos about why the Pixel's bad and I only make 3 videos about why the iPhone is good? It's likely because I can't make 15 videos about why I like iOS or why iPhones are good. I have to show you guys the alternative to prove my point. And oftentimes, I can't really... I mean, it's difficult to list all of the things that I don't have on iOS, specifically bad things. Just go, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about this. The reason you can't really elaborate on iOS for 15 videos is because it's so simple. It works. You just use it. Whereas there's so many things getting in the way of me trying to use my product on Android. That's why there's so much more to talk about over on Android. AirPods or Apple Watch for the best Apple product? I have lived with AirPods. I have lived without AirPods for 6 months, and I didn't really notice it. But living without an Apple Watch for 30 days was incredibly noticeable. So I would say Apple Watch is more important. Fox Rocks Gaming. Thank you for the super chat. And also, we have a new member, a new YouTube member to join the game who's finally taking my advice. Thank you for listening and also for saving some money. Instead of donating $2, $5 of super chat every single time you want your comment read, just become a YouTube member. Mosquita. Johan, I believe is how it's pronounced. Nice profile picture, and thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Really appreciate it. Okay. Moving on from Josh Cook. Oh, my God. Paragraph. All right. Too much J-pop. This is not like YouTube Rewind. When I say, let's read the comments, I mean it. We are reading the comments. These are real. 6 likes, 14 replies. Interesting. Okay. I expect you to have a bias. Okay, that's good. But you shouldn't have given it a fair shake. Pause. I expect you to have a bias, but you should have been fair. What? I don't... How can these two things coexist? I'm lost. I'm very lost. Have a bias, but be fair. Oh. Okay. Anyway, there's so much more to read. Try to make an ecosystem around the Pixel and then compare it to the Apple ecosystem. What ecosystem? Sorry. Yes, you could have complained at the end about how difficult it is to set up an ecosystem, but it does exist if you put some effort into it. Right, of course. That's why this is a better product, or that's why this is a comparable ecosystem, is because it's better or more difficult. Not better. It's more effort, and you've got to put some work into it, and it is harder developing an ecosystem, and maybe the ecosystem isn't as good, but you should have done it. Most of the Pixel 3 rant video was not about comparing ecosystems. It was just phone versus phone. And most of the time, I brought up specifically why other Android phones do a better job than the Pixel 3. OnePlus does a better job. Samsung does a better job. Ugh, okay, moving on. But once it's set up, how do the two ecosystems compare? That's what I wanted to see from your perspective. Okay, did I say this is a Pixel Google ecosystem versus iPhone ecosystem? No. I said this is a Pixel 3 rant video, unfairly nitpicking. Okay. You have been in an ecosystem with your iPhone for so long. If your other products remain the same, it will clash and create a mental bias against it. It's not even a mental bias. This is just bias from the get-go. And yes, I love my OnePlus more than the Pixel. Wasn't most of the rant video about why other Android phones do this better and he's not even a Pixel user? J-Pop himself uses a OnePlus phone. Okay. Think people actually care about that doesn't have a notch is the S9 Note 9. Yeah, just have more bezel instead of a notch, just more forehead. And I don't even care about the price. Oh, okay. So if you throw out the price, yeah, I guess that opens up a lot of windows. As long as my picks are good enough, but nonetheless, I don't think the Pixel sucks that much. The OnePlus gestures are so much better. Oh, wait. The Pixel doesn't suck that much. The OnePlus is better at the same time. Got 6 likes on that. And there was a very long comment thread beneath that. But again, why did I not compare the Google ecosystem? Because there isn't one. Most of the Apple ecosystem benefits are not present on the Google side. There's no iMessage. There's no Apple Watch unlocks Mac. There's no AirDrop. There's no continuity. There's no handoff. All these things that we appreciate about the Apple ecosystem, he's just literally saying, but Google makes several products. What if you just used several Google products at the same time? Oh, yeah, like the Pixel book? Maybe you missed that video. That's going to go well. So I get the Google Pixel book, which was a terrible piece of garbage. Pair that with the Pixel 3, and then tell me how it compares to the Apple ecosystem. There's no pro-end hardware made by Google. All they do is baseline Chromebooks document typing. That's all I can do. If I was forced to use exclusive Google hardware for my job, you guys would not get content. Nothing. I could not make what I make. Wouldn't work. We got a new member. Thank you, Adam Anderson, for becoming a YouTube member. Really, really appreciate it. Makes it much easier to see your comments in the future, and it saves you money opposed to just super chatting every single comment. Thank you, Adam Anderson, for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you. Okay, so too much J-pop. Yeah, too much J-pop should talk to Casey Neistat about his K-pop excitement. But yeah, I don't think that putting the Pixel in an ecosystem of other Google products would somehow make it better in any way. Because all the other Google products are pretty garbage too. Me and my wife have been very annoyed with the Google Home Mini. In fact, I think I'm going to take home that HomePod. We have a HomePod back here, and I know everyone's like, Siri's so dumb and Google Assistant so advanced. But when we simply want it to like play music, and it's like, what room do you want it to play it in? And it's like, play on this speaker. And it's like, sorry, I don't know what room that is. It's like, default to the speaker you're on. Or be like, play Christmas music. And it starts playing Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, man. It's like, that's not it. My wife literally said, can you play old-timey Christmas music? And it started playing Alvin and the Chipmunks. I don't know if you know me and my wife very well. Maybe you guys should subscribe to Talos of Talks so you know what my wife likes and what me and my wife are into. Also, we're very, very close to 10,000 subscribers on Talos of Talks. So please go check out Talos of Talks after this live stream and subscribe because we're just a couple subs away from 10,000. It could not just play old-timey classic Christmas music. So I'm taking home a HomePod. I'm done. The speakers are probably the best thing Google makes, and it's probably because they're so cheap. So if it doesn't work very well, you can't complain. Wow, we got a new member, Philip Turner. Also, thank you for joining the YouTube member page. Now, Instead of having to donate a super chat every time you want your comment read, you can just comment and I'll see it because you're a member. Thank you, Philip Turner. You're awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel. And of course, this will be fulfilled. You'll still be a member for the rest of the month when we go live on YouTube next Friday for YouTube Refried Friday Part 2 next week. Okay, moving on. Let's GG says, I have a question. What Android phones you absolutely liked? Well, look around. Let's take a look at some of the videos I've uploaded. I like the Galaxy Note 9. I tried it. I didn't really have that much bad to say about it. I've always been impressed with the OnePlus phones, and I still say OnePlus is king. ROG phone is great. I've reviewed the Razer Phone 2 very recently and had very nice things to say about it. Alvin and the Chipmunks are old-timey. We say skip this song and they start playing some pop music. The closest to classical Christmas music we can get is Michael Bublé, who really isn't even classic. He just imitates classic. I'm not talking like old-fashioned Alvin and the Chipmunks from cartoon days. I'm talking like cringy 2000s animation. The Squeakquel Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's what I'm talking about. Ugh. Okay, moving on. Blue Jay says, had the Pixel 3 XL since launch, 0 issues. This misinformation from this loser is hilarious. This loser? Yeah. So this Pixel 3 that you love so much, by the way, I got 2 of them for free, so I guess I'm the loser who's developing misinformation by presenting you with evidence. But everyone stop! Blue Jay hasn't had any issues. So, guess I'm wrong. Guess the problem doesn't exist. But wait, Louis Rossman, my iPhone 6 didn't bend. Therefore, it wasn't a problem. That makes Rossman a spreader of misinformation. No, that was sarcasm, just so we're clear. I understand that touch disease was an issue. I understand that Bendgate was an issue. But I did not hold up an iPhone 6 specifically and say, see, that's not a problem. I said, mine is straight. I did have an iPhone 6. It still works. It's straight. But that was not my counter-argument. I presented my counter-argument in my video to that. But since my Pixel 3 hasn't had any issues, even the things that are design flaws, that are inherently not glitches, just the fact that, like, it's so expensive, there's plenty of other people that aren't able to charge their phone with a Pixel stand, with their Pixel 3, and it's overheating, and I have screenshots to prove it, I'm spreading misinformation. Got it, Blue Jay. In 7 likes. So there you go, people. Maybe you should get a Pixel 3. 7 people had 0 issues. That should be on the headline of Google's website. The Pixel 3. 7 people, no issues. Chris Norton super chatted. Hello, nice to see you back on here. Thank you, Chris. But also, save yourself some money. Guys, become a YouTube member. That way you don't have to super chat for every single message. YouTube member costs $5 a month, and then I will see your comments in the chat. They stand out like a sore thumb. It's much easier to read. Please, YouTube member. Much better. Okay. Dr. Slump, I must add, I love his profile picture, says, but the hole looks better than the notch. Okay, I got a lot of feedback on my hole versus notch video. And I just love that this is, the reason this one stood out to me is the fact that this is people's counter-argument. Specifically, most people. 283 likes. I was like, okay, here's my argument as to why, not that a hole is worse than a notch, but simply it's not any different. It's an irregularity in the display. It sticks out. You will get used to it, but for the most part, a camera hole provides no extra advantage than a notch does, other than the fact that you get a couple pixels behind the camera now. I don't find that more immersive. I didn't say it was worse than a notch. I simply said it's the same thing. It's just how they tiptoe over it. So that's why I start referring to it now as camera cutouts. Why did they hate the notch so much? Well, because it's a camera cutout in the display. It's an irregularity. It looks weird. So we make commercials with people with weird haircuts. But then Samsung does the same thing. They make camera cutouts. They make an irregularity. Yes, it's not exactly what a notch is, but logically and functionally, how it affects the device, no different than a notch. No different. If you're wondering how to become a YouTube member on iOS, you have to use a browser. So probably the best thing to do, and you can do this after the stream, is go to a computer, go to a desktop or a laptop, and hit the join button right next to subscribe when you're watching a Talos of Tech video. Or you could go to Safari on your iPhone right now and then look up the live stream and then hit request desktop mode, which you get simply by holding the refresh button. So if you hold the refresh in Safari, you can click request desktop site, and then the join button should be there. But whatever. Dr. Slump, here's all my arguments. I talk about this video about why camera holes are the same. It's an irregularity. Here's my point about why Samsung is just trying to tiptoe over the notch, even though functionally it makes no difference. But the hole looks better. Okay, the case closed, but it looks better. Again, subjective. A lot of people would say that the notch looks more clean because it's at least uniform with the bezel. Small question. What Apple Watch color is the best in your opinion? I'm thinking about getting one. To me, stainless steel, because it matches everything no matter what watch band you do with a silver stainless steel. It just kind of matches it, whereas other watches, not necessarily. Maybe a silver aluminum matches more things. Space gray, they all look great. I just think specifically that this one matches everything the best. Thank you, Philip. Okay, moving on. Wow, 331 likes from Pantu Flasco Miska. That's a mouthful there. Look at this guy's picture. Nice. Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to try this again. Why are all your videos so cringy? It's like watching a child talking about how his toy is the best. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's a very popular genre on YouTube. But second of all, the haters are what enable me to be cringy. Pantu clicked on this video, and every single click, every single person who watches one of my videos helps me continue to do what I do. Whether you want to or not, you are supporting me. So if you click on me and you keep on watching me, even to comment that you hate me, or there's people that subscribe just so they can dislike every single video, you're the reason that our subscriber count keeps going up. Up and up and up and up and up. In fact, we have never, in a single day of Talos of Tech, lost subscribers. Can you believe that? And we've watched other people pass us up, but usually their fame tends to be temporary. They find something quick, they light their fire, it blows up, it gets flamed up, but then dies back down again. And then we pass them up again. Talos of Tech consistently stays on top because we have this fan base, and I have this ticked off way of talking about technology that upsets enough people that they're willing to watch, but enough people can agree with it that they're also willing to watch. And that's why I think the comment section of Talos of Tech is the most fascinating thing, because you're not sure if you're going to get a ton of fanboys or a ton of haters. Whichever video you click on, it could be either. 331 people agreed that on my video about the camera hole versus the notch, 331 people, that's more people than we have watching this live stream right now, think I'm cringy and they don't want to watch me. But they do. You can't decide for yourself whether or not you want to stop watching or keep watching. Looks like we've got some new members as well, but before that, Johan says, do you have a blue iPad and blue Apple Pencil? I do not. I don't think you can get a blue Apple Pencil unless Colorware makes one or D-Brand Skin or something. But we also got Fox Rocks Gaming. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Really, really appreciate that. As well as Tammy Montegudo? I apologize if I can't pronounce it correctly, but you guys are saving money because your comments are way easier to read when you're YouTube members, and I can promise you that I'll make it my utmost priority that Super Chats and members get their comments read whenever we go live on YouTube, which now should be at least every single Friday. Could be more when we do our T- streams. Video's so cringy, but again, 331 people think I'm cringy, but they keep watching. It's interesting. Interesting to me, and I appreciate that. Oh, this one might be cut off a little bit because it's so tall. Also, quite hateful here. Parth Patel says, Apple releases the notch display. Samsung, ew, look at that notch. Talos of Tech, They could have had a big top bezel or a notch. Apple had no other choice to go more bezel-less, and after a while, I didn't even notice the notch. It's better than Samsung's top and bottom bezel. Well, as I've mentioned, I agree with this part of the comment. As I've mentioned, Samsung's alternative to the notch was just more bezel in an effort to make as much screen as possible. Their result was to just have more forehead space, as well as the chin, which does nothing. There's no functional use for a chin. Whereas an iPhone, one size bezel all the way around, and the only reason the notch is there is because it has to be there for face unlock and for cameras. Chin, what does that help? Why? Why does there need to be a chin? There's a way to get rid of it. No one else wants to do it. In a forehead, so you can house sensors, but now Samsung's ditching all the sensors in favor of a camera hole. Again, because it has to be there. Same reasoning. And then he says, every other phone maker adds a notch to a phone. Samsung releases Infinity Zero display. Telos of Tech. The hole is so distracting and hideous, the hole is an intrusion and irregularity. What a frickin' hypocrite. Oh my God. I will have none of that swearing on my Christian Minecraft server. A hypocrite after a video in which I specifically described the fact that a hole is not worse than a notch, in my opinion. Of course, we're all subjective. Some people may hate camera holes. Some people may love notches or vice versa. In my video, my whole point, the entire message I was trying to send was not that the hole is worse. It's interesting. It's a new approach, but don't act like it's different. Because functionally, the way you use the phone and the way app developers have to design their apps, it's no different. It's no different than just simply adding a notch. Functionally, it would change nothing. All you're getting is a couple of extra pixels around the camera. It's not more immersive. It's still an irregularity. You're still going to get used to it. I didn't say that the notch, you get used to it, and the camera hole, you don't. That's not what I said. I said they're the same. That's my whole point. That was great. That was great. New member, welcome MCS Tech HD. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Saving some money. Only costs $5 a month. And then your chats become much easier to read during the YouTube Refried Friday live. So I just moved from an 8 Plus to the 10R, and I'm actually loving it. Would there be a reason to go up to the 10S Max? Essentially, if you miss 3D touch, and you miss the dual camera, and you want thinner bezels, and you're distracted by the lower pixel density or by the LCD display. Other than that, if you're happy with the 10R, I say stick with it. If you've never used a 10S Max extensively, then you're probably not going to have anything to worry about when switching to a 10R. If you're happy with it and you love it, then great, keep with it. But if you use a 10S Max for a week or two, you'll probably have a much harder time going back to the 10R, at least in my experience. Yeah, but I'm a freaking hypocrite. 111 likes on this comment. Quite a lot of people agreed with him. Now Josh, with a very profile picture, says, very hateful on Samsung. Very, very hateful. Mind you, there is an edit button on YouTube. It's not Twitter. Don't this live stream will hurt the algorithm? Screw the algorithm. Tammy, I don't care. I don't care anymore. But that does not mean we're not going live on Twitch anymore. We will. One, Samsung showed those displays because they sell displays, and some companies are interested. So instead of not mocking companies who use notches, Samsung markets displays towards them. You're telling me that even though I brought up Samsung makes displays for companies that have notches in them, even though they mock the notch and say how stupid the notch is, you're saying, well, it's okay because they sell to companies those displays. That doesn't change the fact that it's hypocritical. My point is that it doesn't make sense for them to mock a company for having a notch when they themselves make displays with notches. Doesn't matter that they're selling it to another company. How would you feel if a company was trying to sell to you and mock you at the same time? That doesn't make any sense. I don't mock YouTube members. That would be stupid. All you idiots should buy my merch. All you morons and nerds out there, buy my merch. You guys would be like, hey, guys, why do you got to Why you gotta be mean? All you stupid Apple sheep. All you people who love Apple are idiots. I don't get any of you. But Drew, you buy Apple. Yeah, I know. I buy Apple because I like it. But you're all idiots. That's the hypocrisy we're talking about. That's the frickin' hypocrite mindset. Okay, thank you, Josh, for your comment. Okay, Renee Dubé says, iSheep saying that S10 will not be cheap. Well, in regards to Android, no, it will not be cheap. Samsung's probably some of the most expensive Android phones out there. Note 9's at $1,000, configurable up to $1,200. When in regards, you can get something like a OnePlus for $500, $600. Also, there's some price leaks going around for the S10. It doesn't look very good. It looks like the Galaxy S10 is going to be kind of pricey. No joke. It's going to be an expensive phone. They're going to raise the prices from the S9 just so you can have that little hole, just that little camera hole. It's going to be like $200, potentially $300 more expensive just to get that one little hole. Yes, it will be expensive. Matt Jazz says, here he is again, bashing everything that isn't Apple. Well, Matt Jazz, here we are again. You're watching it, and you love it. Yeah, you hate how I bash everything that isn't Apple, but you can't help but click. You just gotta click. You can't shake it. You can't shake it off yourself. The fact that, I hate how he bashes everything Apple. I hate how he bashes everything Apple. But what did he say? What did he say about it, though? I want to hear what he had to say. What did he have to say, though? I'm interested. Here he is again. 108 people saying, yep, he's bashing anything not Apple, even though, consistently, praise OnePlus. I'm proud of Samsung's hardware. I like Samsung's hardware. And anytime I critique them, it's mostly about their marketing department or Bixby. That's like 50% of my complaints. Remove the stupid button. But you can turn it off and just have a button that doesn't do anything. Oh, great. Or they could remove it entirely. That wouldn't fix like 90% of people's complaints about them. I like this one because each comment got 2 likes. Ryan Desai, but he had to spell it differently. Apple's sheep. Apple sheep emoji, sheep. I just imagine a guy trying to figure out how the comments worked, and he's like typing on the keyboard, and he's like, wait, how does it work? Sheep, got it. And then people gave him 2 likes for that. Given your rant video on the Pixel 3, would you say it was the worst phone you've ever used or just the newest bad phone? I would say of all the phones I've tested, of all the phones I've ever tested in my YouTube career, as in taken my SIM out of the iPhone and put in, the Pixel 3 had to have been the worst. I've tested the Nexus 6P that had my SIM card in it. I tested the Note 7, and I enjoyed the Note 7. I thought it was a shame that they had the explosive issues and it had to be recalled because I thought the Note 7 was a decent phone. I enjoyed the S8. I had nice things to say about the S8. S9, it was felt minor of an upgrade, and it didn't excite me that much. I enjoyed the Note 9 though. I thought that was kind of interesting, and in all my years, I've never had so many design flaws in a single product, particularly one that cost $800 to $900. I would have expected software issues on maybe a $400, $300 phone, but on this expensive, Pixel 3 was probably the worst phone I've ever tested as my daily. So that wraps it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our hour, as I usually say on Twitch, but all the comments I've caught up with. We've got a member here who says, I want to be an Apple sheep. How do I do this? By the way, last year I only had an iPad 2, but this year I have an iPhone XR, the 2018 iPad, the Apple TV, the MacBook AirPods, almost there. To be an Apple sheep, you don't have to have the entire ecosystem. I don't even recommend people getting the Apple TV. But if you enjoyed this live content, you want more of it. Do you want me to go live more often? Do you want to watch more live streams? Well, I hate to say it, but right here on YouTube, I'm only going to be live on Fridays. Though if you want more, check in the chat. There's a Twitch link because on Twitch, we go live way more often than YouTube. Twitch is a dedicated live streaming service for live content and creators like me. I go live on there 4 to 5 times a week, which I very much encourage you guys to go check it out. I know Twitch is weird and you don't like downloading apps and it's different, But Twitch has a lot of advantages, and the live streams are a lot smaller over on Twitch, which means that getting your question answered and getting noticed over there is much, much easier than here on YouTube. And also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can become a Twitch subscriber, as in you support me, you help me out, you allow me to do what I do at no cost. Absolutely free. Twitch Prime costs you nothing. If you have Amazon Prime, and I know a ton of you do, link it to your Twitch account and hit Twitch Prime, subscribe to Talos of Tech on Twitch. Supports me, costs you nothing, absolutely free, no ads on the channel once you use Twitch Prime. So thank you very, very much to the people who stuck around on our first comeback of Refried Friday 2018 edition live on YouTube. I've had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys all watching. And I hope that if you enjoyed the live content, you can head over to Twitch, and I'll see all of our new YouTube members back on Refried Friday. That's you, Adam Anderson, next Friday. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have an excellent day.